Good morning and welcome to the XM.com weekly market update. We're joined once again by the CEO of XM, Peter McGuire. Pete, welcome back.
Good morning, Andrew.
And we're joined once again by Soulla Chamberlain. Now, Soulla is a health coach, entrepreneur and founder of Star Anise Organic Whole Foods and Broth Bar and Larder. Soulla, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
We had you on a couple of months ago to talk about the 8 foundations of health, and we just gave a broad overview back then of what those 8 factors are and how they, I guess, affect us in our lifestyle, but also how that affects us in the financial markets and from a trading perspective. What we're going to do today is drill into that a little bit more. We can touch on what those 8 foundations are, but we're going to focus more on nutrition today, how that affects us not only on a day-to-day basis, but I know from an investor's perspective and a trader's perspective, how important these factors are when you are making, high-level decisions that affect millions and millions of dollars, and how these factors can make a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So they affect our concentration, our ability to make short, sharp, quick decisions. So the 8 foundations or pillars of health are essentially the lifestyle choices that influence our health, our function, our performance, our longevity, and our overall wellness. So today I want to touch on the first one, nutrition. Okay, so what do we eat? And I know so many people are so confused about what to eat. And I believe a really good starting point is to eat what we have biologically evolved to eat based on our anatomy. And that is universally an omnivorous diet, rich in nutrient-dense, whole, meaning unprocessed foods. And we look at that we're determined by that from looking at our evolutionary biology. So our genes were set 2.6 million years ago during a period of time called the Ice Age or the Paleolithic period. So we share exactly the same genes as our hunter-gatherer ancestors did 2.6 million years ago. Our genes haven't changed much, if at all, since. And our hunter-gatherer ancestors basically ate whatever was in their natural environment. Yeah. And the key focus here, or the commonality of what they ate, was nutrient density. And if any of that food was in any way untoward, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation.
Exactly, we didn't make the journey.
Yeah, we would have long ago died out as a species. So nutrient-dense foods, there's a strong biological reason why we gravitated towards that. And that is because all of the systems, functions, and structure of the human body are built from and run on one thing and one thing only, and that is nutrients. And by nutrients, I'm referring to the 45 or so vitamins and minerals and amino acids that all play such a critical role in the human body, without which we can't function as optimally, we can't concentrate as well. Okay, so that's all the systems and functions and structure of the human body, from our digestive system, hormone system, our immune system, nervous system, osteoskeletal system, brain health, skin health, the whole kit and caboodle is built from and runs on nutrients.
Yes.
So let's have a look at what are some nutrient-dense whole foods. And these foods here that are on this slide, basically most people in the Western world will have access to this food. And you can see they're single ingredient food. So if your trolley is full of single ingredient food, that's a really good first rule of thumb. And this is what I would call the optimal starting point diet for mankind. It provides all 3 macronutrients: your fats, your protein, and your carbohydrates. I know we've become a little bit fat phobic in our society, and I say let's embrace those traditional fats that our ancestors, were eating of yesteryear. Protein, we're going to get primarily from our meat, and if you can tolerate full fat dairy and your beautiful wild seafood. And your carbohydrates, this is a really key one. We want to get them not so much from your refined grains, but from your vegetables.
Exactly.
And from your root vegetables. And this also provides ample micronutrients. So you can see some of this food here will be very familiar to people. Kimchi is familiar to the Korean, sauerkraut, the Germans.
Our global audience.
Yeah. And the other thing, Peter, is this food is delicious.
Absolutely.
If I say to you, you can have bacon and eggs for breakfast, and beautiful, meat and a bone broth-based soup and veggies for dinner, and a beautiful salad with some chicken or fish or cheese for lunch. Most people are high-fiving me in my health coaching sessions when I say that. Yeah. So what our hunter-gatherer ancestors and what peoples in traditional societies around the world weren't eating were the
I
processed
don't think they were eating those too much.
No. So processed foods are essentially foods that have been denatured through the manufacturing process to rob them of vitamins and minerals and pump them full of flavours, colours and preservatives to enhance their shelf life. And they often are accompanied by very slick, sexy marketing campaigns and come in colourful containers and packets. And this food basically is toxic, in a word, and we know that toxins cause inflammation, and it's inflammation that is the root cause of all modern disease. So regardless of the names of the disease, and we can see that, levels of obesity and diabetes, cardiovascular disease, infertility, these have all increased in line with the increased consumption of processed foods, along with other poor lifestyle choices. So the main three culprits that I would warn people to stay away from are your industrial seed oil, so your processed fake fats like your canola, cottonseed oil, vegetable oils, corn oil, those sort of, fake processed fats. Your refined sugar, which most people know nowadays cause insulin spikes and crashes and affect concentration, leads to insulin resistance and ultimately type 2 diabetes. Your refined grains, which have become so ubiquitous in society today, your breads, your cereals, your pastas, muffins, things like that.
Yeah.
So really good rule of thumb is if it needs to be advertised, it's probably not real food. Another really good rule of thumb is if your great-great-grandmother didn't recognise it, don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
Yeah.
And
just stick to those beautiful single ingredients foods that are teeming with micronutrients.
Absolutely.
So back in 2012, I was appointed the nutrition coach for the Sydney Roosters, which is a National Rugby League team here in Sydney, Australia. And my mandate was very clear. I was to get them from the very bottom of the ladder, which is where they were in 2012, to the very top of the ladder. And they gave me a year to do it, which I did, by doing one thing, changing their diet.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that tells you something, because they're not a bad team.
So it shows that something as simple but as foundational as the food we eat can have such a profound impact on our performance, our cognition, our strength, our agility, our movement. So of all the 8 foundations of health, obviously they're all really important. There is no one panacea. But I call nutrition the low-hanging fruit in the sense that we always have a choice as to what to eat. Unlike some of the other foundations, like movement or sleep, which are an additional thing we've got to get in, an additional thing to go out in nature, nutrition is something we're doing anyway, we're eating anyway, so it's just a matter of what I call healthy swaps.
Of course.
Okay, it's not an additional thing. And I believe, if you nail the diet, you're about 90% there.
100%,
It's, for me, nutrition is the easiest, it's the fastest, and it's the most profound way to improve your health, function, longevity, concentration and performance.
Yes.
So if you're hungry for more, you can go to my website, staraniceorganic.com, and you can check out the Food as Medicine tab, and all the information is there. And that's going to set you up.
It looks like food, doesn't it? Have a look at that there.
Yeah.
And that's what Asia, and we've got a big concentration, Asia and South America, and they eat bone broths all day long. Look at Japan and ramen. You've travelled extensively when you're at Bloomberg and the ASX.
Yeah, and I think you sort of look at it, particularly from the financial markets perspective, where these guys are trading, they're sometimes trading long hours, and because they're doing the overnight markets and all that sort of thing. So obviously concentration gets affected very, very easily. And if you've got
with sugary drinks,
you don't have the neurotransmitters needed to make these sharp decisions. And I know it's so easy just to reach for the fast food, the soft drink, but it all comes with a consequence.
Yeah. But I think also the Roosters example is a great example, because obviously they're an elite football team, but they're coming up against 12 or 14 other elite football teams as well. So if something like nutrition can give them the edge, give them that edge, then you sort of think, surely they'd be all looking at it. So, and not only in rugby league, it relates to any sport really.
Yes.
So.
Well, after that event, I had, I think, every single athletic team in the country calling me up saying, "Oh, can you come on board as our nutrition coach?" But it's not rocket science. It's just going back to the food that we have biologically evolved to eat. What is biologically congruent?
Yes.
You feed any species a diet that is not biologically congruent, it's going to have some, ill
health
consequences.
Impacts.
Exactly.
And also, I think, as you say, it's the easiest one of the lot.
100%. 100%.
because it's all there for you in the shops and supermarkets and wherever else. But it's the decision making by the person that will determine what ends up in the trolley.
I often say shop around the perimeter of the supermarket, not the aisles and aisles and aisles of the processed packaged food.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting and real good food for thought, if you like. So, but I know, Pete, we've been involved in the financial markets a long, long time, and I've never heard of this 25 years ago.
No,
so it's
absolutely,
and it's probably not necessarily a new thing, but I think people are just becoming a lot more conscious of it.
Yeah, as the rates of illness and disease are skyrocketing, people are starting to question why that is the case. And this is something you can do in your own home, take back power in your own home with what you buy.
Discipline.
Yeah, well, we're the gatekeepers of what we bring into our home.
Yeah, very much so. Excellent. Great wrap, Soulla.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, what we'll do, we'll have you on again in the next few weeks and months, and as we can work our way through the 7 other choices
this is a big one.
Yeah, excellent. So thanks for your time again.
My pleasure.
Great to have you back. Pete?
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Soulla.
No, great.
Well
Excellent.
done.
Great. Thank you. And that is the xm.com weekly market update.